everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do something fun, which is crafting. So I've been in my little bookmark era and making the cutest little bookmarks with my Cricut machine. Honestly, it's mainly because I've been reading physical books a lot more lately. I don't know if it's just because it's getting warmer out, it's summertime, and I've just been breaking up my days lately by walking to the park or the beach, and it's just been so much more fun to bring a physical book versus my Kindle. So we're gonna have some fun because I'm gonna do the mid-year book wrap-up check-in, which is by my friend Larry. I'll link her video down below. But I've been making the cutest little bookmarks lately with my Cricut machine, so I thought I would do that while I answer some questions. And this video is sponsored by Cricut, which is so exciting because I've actually had my machine. I have the Explore Air too. I've had this for years. But if you're unfamiliar with the Cricut, it's a smart cutting machine, so you can make so many different things. You can do iron-ons for t-shirts, decals, stickers, so many different materials. I'm gonna be doing a super simple design with mine today, but you can do so many crazy things. But I love my Cricut because you don't need any prior design experience. You can just like hop right in. I know using a new machine can be super intimidating, but I promise you, it is not complicated at all. They also have a really easy to use app, so if you want to just design and personalize things right from the app, you can do just that. They also have the Cricut Design Space, which is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to link the exact one that I have down below. Again, I have the Explore Air too, but they have so many amazing different add-ons and different machines and different cutting tools. So you can literally get so custom with this. But I have to warn you, it gets so addicting. Like it makes me want to customize everything that I own. So you've been warned. Okay, so for my bookmark today, I think I want to switch it up and do like a color because I've been making a lot of black and white ones. So I have this cardstock, which I will link in the description box below, but it's this really pretty peach. But I think I'm going to use one side of this. I kind of want to do a flower. I'm going to use one of them for the flower design that I made and then one of them for the actual like bookmark. And then I'm also going to be using this Deluxe Paper, which is adhesive backed, and you can get this with a bunch of different designs. I thought this one was so cute. It's just black and white. They have all these different patterns in here, but I'm going to be boring. I'm just going to use the white as one side of my bookmark and then stick it onto this one. That way both sides will be different, but it'll also be thicker. Cheers. I'm taking an espresso shot and let's chat about books, shall we? Ooh, it's strong. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, the first question is, what's the best book you've read so far in 2023? This is such an easy one for me. Easily Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. It's the first book I ever read from her, and I am just so obsessed. This book is so worth the hype, and I'm absolutely not a fantasy girly, so I was like, there's just probably no way I'm gonna actually like this book as much as everyone else does, because I feel like I didn't get as into ACOTAR as everyone else did either. But comparing the first book of Fourth Wing, it's gonna be the first in a series, to ACOTAR, the first book, it blows it out of the water. It was one of the best books I've ever read, and you just immediately get into the story. There's not a ton of world building, so it's not like all this facts and like history of this made up world that's just really confusing to understand. It is not hard to get into at all. It's basically a mix of Harry Potter meets Hunger Games and Game of Thrones, which honestly, I'm obsessed with all of those. There's sassy dragons, amazing spice. I can't even get into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll devour it so fast. Best sequel you've read so far in 2023. This one would have to be Heartless by Elsie Silver, and that's the second book in the Chestnut Springs series. Normally I will wait months before reading the next book in a series, and then I kind of get myself out of it, but I was immediately into this series. It's so good. I've entered my small town cowboy romance era with this series. I'm just not normally like into country at all, so I was like, a cowboy era, I don't know if that's for me. It's for me. It's for you. If you like small town romances, amazing spice, but also a great plot, I think you will love it. Heartless is a sequel, and it is my favorite book in the entire series, and it's single dad trope, grumpy sunshine. Mouth on that man is just no words, no words. I always recommend the Chestnut Springs series for people who are in a reading slump because it'll get you right out of it. A new release you haven't read yet but want to, I have literally so many on my TBR. The new Riley Sager book I'm dying to read. It's called The Only One Left, and I'm shocked that I haven't read this one yet, but I think it only came out like a month ago. Do I know much about it? No. I honestly kind of prefer to go into Riley Sager's books, and honestly all thrillers pretty blindly. Got my first cut out. How cute is that? I'm stepping on things. I've read Riley Sager's entire backlist, so I'm really excited to read it. Even though his last two weren't the most well received, I actually really liked Meet Me at the Lake. I liked it so much more than the previous book to that one, which was Survive the Night, which is definitely my least favorite, I think, by him. I don't know, I've heard really good things about this one, that people really like it, so fingers crossed. I've just cut out my shapes for the flowers, and then I'm gonna cut out just a basic rectangle for the actual shape of the bookmark. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one's easily Iron Flames, which is the Fourth Wing sequel. Also, look at how perfect that is, which is actually crazy and amazing that we already get a sequel the same year that we get the first book. Then I'm gonna do the same cut on my machine with the other side of the bookmark. Okay, the next question is a book that was the biggest surprise. I wanna say Fourth Wing because I just wasn't expecting to like a fantasy book that much, but aside from that one, because I'm gonna probably say that for like every question because I'm so obsessed with that book and it's my entire personality. It was just so satisfying with the sticker back. Yes, I love that. I'm gonna say Darling Venom because that book I don't know. I went into it pretty blindly. Oh, but also Mad Honey. So tough. Okay, I'm gonna have to say 2 books for this one because I just literally cannot choose. But the first one is Darling Venom, and I read this at the beginning of the year with my book club, and some people absolutely hated this book, but I just didn't know like anything about it going into it, so I had no idea what to expect, and it just really surprised me. And the plot twist that happens pretty early on, I think it was at the 11% mark, shook me to my core, and it just ended up being this entirely like deeper story than I expected. But I highly recommend it. It is long, let it take you on a ride. But honestly, that book I kind of compare it to Say You Swear in the way of that it like made me feel. And then also Mad Honey really surprised me. I actually just finished that for my book club, both book club picks. If you want to join my book club, I will link that down below. I would love to have you. By the way, I just finished the base of my bookmark, so I have this little peach side, which was the cardstock, and then I stuck it to the adhesive back of the white. So that way it has like the weight of a normal bookmark, but now we get to decorate it. So these are the little flower decals, which I made this on my iPad. So I've uploaded this to my Cricut design space so that you guys can use it and make this bookmark if you want to as well, or you can put this on any kind of decal. You can even do vinyl. You can literally do anything with this design. So if you do use it, I would love to see it. But I have the little petals of the flower, and then I use the orange side to do like the middle center of the flower. And I think I'm just gonna glue this onto the white side so that it can add like a nice little pop. But anyway, Mad Honey was so good. I also went into it blindly, and I probably wouldn't have read it if it wasn't for my book club voting for this book. I'd never really heard of it. I'd never read a Jodi Picoult book either. Now I'm like dying to read more from both of these authors because it was one of the best books that I've read this year, and it was so unlike anything that I anticipated. Like, I went into this book not even knowing that Mad Honey would be about a beekeeper. Like, it just completely went over my head. But if you've read or heard about Where the Crawdads Sing, it reminded me a lot of that book. But it reminded me of that because there was a murder that happens, you were completely shocked by it, but then you go through the trial and kind of trying to figure out like who did this. But also there's like the main one that it kind of follows, and you're like, okay, is this person actually innocent? Are they not? Getting past and present chapters, and also like a backwards timeline with the character who was murdered. And there's also this huge revelation that completely changes everything in the trial. A little bit long, but I highly recommend it. It was one of the best books easily that I read this year, and so different from anything that I've ever read. Your favorite new author, debut, or new to you? Okay, I have to say Rebecca Yarros because, again, Fourth Wing is just, it's unmatched. It's unmatched. But I also really love Elsie Silver, and she's the one who wrote the Chestnut Spring series, so I definitely want to read more from her. Jodi Picoult. So please send me all your recs because I genuinely have no idea where to start, and I'm overwhelmed. Newest fictional crush, I mean, I've got to Xaden. Whoo! I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but the Fourth Wing guy, I'm sorry. Again, I know I need to branch out, but I'm obsessed. He is daddy and a baddie. But also Cade from Heartless, which is the second book in the Chestnut Springs. The newest book in that series too, Reckless. I feel like I haven't really talked about it, but I did really like that one. I can't decide if I liked it as much as Flawless, which is the first book, or if I like them both the same. But Theo in that book as well. Oh my god. He's definitely a golden retriever, which I'm normally not as into in my books. He was honestly so perfect. Book that made you cry. Okay, this was actually a recent one, and I was not expecting to tear up in this book, but I just finished Carrie Soto Is Back from Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love her book so much, and that was the last book that I needed to read in her Famous Women series. I think that's what it's called. But I was putting off that book because I was like, I don't know, I didn't really love Malibu Rising. I loved the other three, but for some reason Malibu Rising fell super flat for me. So I was like, am I gonna like Carrie Soto? I feel like I'm not. But I loved it so much. Like, it's one of my favorite TJR books easily, and it's about a tennis player. So now I feel like I know so much about tennis, which I literally do not because I didn't retain anything. Comes out of retirement to basically hold her title as the most Grand Slams because a girl's about to take her place, and she absolutely cannot have that. She's so competitive, and she's like, no, I'm coming out of retirement, dad. You're gonna coach me again. All the backlash that she gets, and she's just like not a very well-liked person. She's very confident and very blunt. It's actually so funny to read about. Highly recommend the book. It's such a good summer beach read. Really short chapters, like I said, and the vibes are immaculate. I didn't expect it to make me cry and get emotional at the end, but during like the last 25%, I definitely got emotional and hit a little close to home. I could honestly say that book was a big surprise too, because I just did not think I was gonna like it that much, but I stand corrected. Also, this is turning out so cute. A book that made you happy, I feel like I would have to say Reckless, which is the one that I just finished, which is book 4 in the Chestnut Spring series, the one with the golden retriever Theo. That book just made me so happy. I really didn't know what to expect with this story because I did not like the main character that this one follows in the other book. She was like an absolute menace, so I was like, okay, is she gonna actually have a redemption arc, or am I gonna be annoyed? But I really liked her story. We get a surprise pregnancy, which is not a spoiler at all because that's literally in the title. It's like a surprise pregnancy trope, but that book made me so happy because of just how everything was handled, like with the guy finding out that he's gonna be a dad and how their relationship progresses, and just her also overcoming all these insecurities and family issues. I don't know, everything was just done so well, and it made me so happy, like seeing him love being a dad. It was just the sweetest thing ever. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received? I can't even say fourth wing for this one because I don't have the one with the sprayed edges, and I'm so bitter about it. I'm so jealous of anyone who has that version because it's so beautiful. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say any of the Magnolia Parks Universe books because I just got these because I was so terrified that they were gonna take these away because they came out with new covers and I never got my hands on the original covers, and they just are a work of art to me. So did I buy these from the UK? Yes, I did. Things I did. That. But did I have to do that? I'm not sure. But how could you just not be so obsessed with these book covers? I'm so sad that they changed them. Like, I understand, but these ones will forever hold a special place in my heart because they're so beautiful. I haven't even read this book yet, but I'm obsessed with you. So needless to say, I'm very excited to read this so I can know what the cover actually means, because I know everything is symbolic and there for a reason. Where did my other little things go? Oh, where did you go? Oh my god, we're already at the last question. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Oh my god, is that a joke? That is a sick joke because I need to read so many books. I've been so bad about following my TBR. Someone in my book club will just give me a book rack and then I'm like, immediately I have to read that. Especially if it's on Kindle Unlimited, I will like literally just download it on the spot and then start reading it. Obviously, again, I need to read Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates because I've only read the first book and I need to read those because they're so freaking cute. Oh, I really want to finish the Grip trilogy. I only need to read the last one, but that's a book like series from last year that I told myself I wanted to finish this year. I feel like everybody has been on me for not finishing the Ravenhood trilogy because again, it's a series that I've read the first two and not the last one, which why do I do that? I don't want to read the rest of ACOTAR, but like now that I'm in my fourth wing era, I don't even know if I can go back to it. I'm gonna try, but we shall see. Oh, you know what I really need to read? I don't know why I keep putting this off, is the last book in a Not So Me Cute series by Megan Quinn, who is my absolute queen. And A Not So Me Cute is one of my favorite books of all time. Like, why haven't I read the last book? Apparently people love it as much as the first book, if not more. So I'm just like shook that I haven't read it yet. I just have the best time reading her books. Like, I'm laughing out loud the entire time. The spice is so good. The plot is so good. Like, I'm entertained the entire time. So I definitely want to read that. Oh, and Sarah Pikanen has a new book coming out called Gone Tonight, and I am so excited. Her and Greer Hendricks write a lot of books together, so I've read their entire backlist, but she's also coming out with a solo book, and honestly so many more. Like, I could go on for days. And also, if I showed you my bookshelf, it's alarming. Someone please tell me to read all of them because I feel like I've been so slow at reading lately and I just cannot get to my books. But also I'm not sticking to my TBR, so that's also a personal problem. Oh, if it's not the consequences of my own actions. Wait, my bookmark turned out so freaking cute. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I am a crafting queen. I think I'm just gonna leave the back plain because this is so cute. Like a nice little pop. The way that this bookmark matches this book brings me so much joy. Like, this is the cutest thing ever. And then the other side has just like the cute little pink stuff. You could even like cut out a little circle at the top and do a tassel if you want it. I'm obsessed. This was so quick and easy to make. So again, I will list all the materials and my machine down in the description box below if you want to try it. Join me in my bookmark era. And I feel like now I just need to make a bookmark for every single book that I read, matching it to the cover because it's so fun. And you can also follow along with my Cricut design space if you want to check out this design that I made. I will also make other ones if you guys have any specific requests, let me know. But that is it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this book tag and also making this cute little bookmark with me. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fabulous day and I will see you in my next video. Mwah!